upholding democracy and gender equality, a call for the Senate President's suspension. Is this suspension or remove herself? That guy does not understand the enormity of his role as a Senate President. That is it. So now a group has come out now. They call them WIAS group. Okay, WIAS group, Women Initiative for Advocacy, Social Justice and Empowerment. Women Initiative for Advocacy, Social Justice and Empowerment. They have now called for immediate suspension or removal of Akpabio because the man is something else. Okay, so Women Initiative for Advocacy, Social Justice and Empowerment, WIAS, stands firmly against all acts of discrimination and authoritarianism that undermines the principles of democracy and gender equality in our nation's legislative chambers. The recent expulsion of Senator Mrs. Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, representing Kogi Central, from the Senate chamber by the Senate President allegedly over her protest against an abrupt seat rearrangement or reassignment, is not only an affront to her dignity as an elected representative, but a blatant violation of the rights of women in governance. We condemn this action unequivocally and demand accountability. A dangerous precedent for women's representation. Oh boy. On the 20th February 2025, during a plenary session, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan protested the unauthorized relocation of her seat, a move she was neither consulted about nor informed of prior, citing Order 10 of the Senate Standing Rule, which safeguards members' privileges. She sought recognition from the Senate President to address her grievances. Instead of facilitating a constructive dialogue, Senate President Akpabio dismissed her concerns and escalated the situation by instructing security personnel to remove her from the chamber. This heavy-handed response not only silenced a duly elected representative, but also sent a chilling message to women across the nation about their place in political discourse. Oh boy. This incident is not isolated. In July 2024, during a plenary session, Senate President Akpabio made a derogatory remark towards Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan, suggesting that the Senate was not a nightclub after she spoke without formal recognition. Such comments reflect deep-seated biasness and a lack of respect for women, further entrenching gender disparities in our political system. Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan's removal for asserting her right to question procedural changes sends a chilling message to women. Such conduct from the Senate President shows a culture of intimidation that discourages women from actively participating in governance. Nigeria's Senate, which already suffers from abysmally low female representation, just 7% of seats, cannot afford to normalize tactics that further marginalize women's voices. So this incident reflects broader systemic issues. When a woman legislator is ejected for advocating fairness, it reinforces harmful stereotypes that women should be seen, not heard, in positions of power. Can you imagine? So the Senate President's action contradicts the spirit of Section 42 of the Nigerian Constitution, which prohibits discrimination based on gender and violate the principles of parliamentary decorum. Oh boy, which should prioritize respectful debate over punitive retaliation. Undermining democratic integrity. A legislature's strength lies in its commitment to dialogue, transparency, and equity. By unilaterally ejecting a senator without due process, the Senate President has abused his authority, turning the chamber into a space of arbitrary rule rather than democratic deliberation. If sitting arrangements are disputed, protocols exist to address such matters, protocols that must be applied impartially regardless of gender. This is not merely about a seat, it is about whether Nigeria's democracy can protect the rights of all elected officials to advocate for their constituents without fear of retribution. The Senate president's conduct sets a dangerous precedent, eroding public trust in legislative fairness and inclusivity. Our call to action, Women Initiative for Advocacy, Social Justice and Empowerment, hereby demand, number one, the immediate suspension of the Senate President for his discriminatory action and breach of parliamentary ethics. Two, a formal apology to Senator Akpabio and all Nigerian women, reaffirming the Senate's commitment to gender equality. 3. Review of Senate rules to ensure transparent processes for resolving disputes and safeguarding against gender-biased, gender-based discrimination. So, conclusion, we urge all citizens, civil society organizations, advocates of women and democracy to join us in condemning this injustice. Nigeria's progress hinges on the full participation of women in leadership. The Senate President's action betrayed the aspirations of millions of Nigerian women and girls who look to their leaders for inspiration. Let us stand united to ensure that no woman, elected or ordinary, is silenced or sidelined again. Obviously, this one now has become a very big matter. I'm telling you, I am thinking that even Akpabio should go and defend himself in the court for all of this behavior. The guy does not just have decorum; he does not understand. He's not sensitive to anything at all, and that's why he talks without looking back. He just talk and talk. I'm telling you how come. It's because of what Tinubu wants from him. Somebody that he can press pom-pom as Senate president, because that's always what it has been. Senate has always been rubber stamp in Nigeria under the control of the executive or the presidency. Very unfortunate. So now women are out crying for the matter to be dealt with and for Akpabio to be removed, suspended, exactly, and let Deputy Senate President take over. This Akpabio, Akpoti will be the third person that are trying to suspend. They've suspended somebody before. I think they also tried to suspend Senator Ndume and now Senator Akpoti after embarrassment of Senator Reti Kingibe because of Nwike last time. So all of these things happening, I don't understand how Akpabio can be a true leader. He's not. He is obviously not a leader. So now women are crying, and I'm sure this matter will not just end here. It will get to the judiciary, because the proceedings of the Senate need to be reassessed again and know whether even if Akpabio is even competent to be a Senate president or not. This is a competency issue now. Maturity, education, IQ, sensitivity, understanding the law, understanding processes and protocols is competency issue. I'm telling you, all put together show that Akpabio is probably the wrong person to be the Senate president at this time, probably not competent to be the Senate president at this time. That is what it speaks to. So let's get in and follow up this matter as women have now come out to say Akpabio must be suspended.